is Wednesday, but now we got this quote from J-Lo. So she said, "You have to be born in New York to be a New Yorker and in one of the 5 boroughs." Mace, what's your opinion on that? How do you define somebody as a New Yorker?
What's your take?
You have to be born in New York to be a New Yorker. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
100%
I know everybody
agree.
wants to claim the city.
No, I know.
Everybody wants to claim our city, but you have to be born in New York. You have to be born in one of the 5 boroughs to be a New Yorker.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
When I moved here in 2012,
Yes.
everyone was like, in 10 years, you can call yourself a New Yorker.
Oh, is that what they said?
Yeah, and then I stayed 10 years.
Said
and guess
no
what
New
happened?
Yorker ever.
No, the New Yorkers used to have this as a rule.
That was a rule?
Yes, you didn't know about this?
No, I didn't get the memo. I did not sign the petition.
And you're the official big dog in this. I'm serious. Here's my question.
Okay.
Let's say I've been here for 50 years. I'm 90 years old. And you go, "Are you a New Yorker?" And I go, "No."
I have to say no. You live in New York. You take on characteristics of New Yorkers, probably by that time. You have a New York sensibility.
I pay New York taxes,
You pay, yeah, you pay New York taxes.
but I can't call it.
When you're born in New York is when you're really a New Yorker.
So if I've been here for 50 years.
What did I just say? Do I need to say it? See, this is very New York right here.
You would ask me this because I'm not born in New York, but I lived my whole life there. So according to J-Lo, Harlem World is a fake, you know?
According to J-Lo.
According to J-Lo, J-Lo is subbing me. Okay. J-Lo, let me stop. Love J-Lo. I don't know how to feel about that. I think if you didn't go to kindergarten there, if you didn't go to elementary there, but if you've been there since kindergarten all the way through high school, at what point do you say a person is not from there? If they didn't go to high school there, they're definitely not from there. But if you've been there since kindergarten, pre-K, all the way through college, where are you from then? I see what she's trying to say, but you know, I'm definitely from where I'm from.
You said I'm definitely.
But Kim says my social security says Florida though. Your social security says Florida too, Stat.
It does.
So where you really from, Stat? Are you from Jacksonville?
There was no confusion on where I'm from because everywhere I named was still Florida. What are we talking about? Hey,
I know,
that was never up for debate.
J-Lo got you feeling uncomfortable, huh? Man?
He asking me.
Away behind that statement,
man. I'm screaming.
J-Lo got bigger stuff to think about, but I ain't gonna be.
Oh my gosh.
She got you. She got murder in his feelings, man.
You sitting here thinking, maybe we need
you know I love J-Lo. J-Lo, shout out to J-Lo. J-Lo was in a big video with me. I was in a big video with her, you know, and she was a mega star at the time. Thank her for showing up and adding to the legacy, you know. Shout out to J-Lo. I don't have nothing to say about it. I want to hear what Killer got to say.
We'll hear what Cam says, then we'll go back to you, because I'm sure you have more. She could be a mega superstar, but you could still be like, yo, I'm from New York. Like, 2 things could be true.
I didn't know this was about me, Dad. I didn't know.
I mean, it wasn't, but if the shoe fits, like, if the shoe fits.
You gaslight me? You want me to lose it? Okay. Let Cam go. Yeah, I see you gaslight me. Okay. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Go ahead, Cam.
I think my personal opinion is we had this conversation not on the show, but the other day, like maybe it was on the show. I don't know. To me, you have to go to school from at least kindergarten and high school. Like to me, not even kindergarten, like more from like 4th grade to at least 12th grade. Like they gotta know you somewhere. Like because we talked about. If Michael Jordan, he's born in New York, but he's not a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? He's not a New Yorker. Then you say somebody like Carmelo Anthony. He's born in New York, but to me, it's up to him. I'm not trying to tell Carmelo where he's from. I don't mean any disrespect by this, but he didn't really grow up as a teenager in New York, because we was talking about this about, they're like, yeah, we got Carmelo. We was talking about superstars from New York, actually. I think it was on the show. And Carmelo didn't play high school or junior high school in New York, because if he did, everybody'd be talking about, yo, we got to go see Melo play. Yo, we got to go see Melo play. Same thing they did with Lance Stephenson. Same thing they did with Sebastian Telfair. Same thing they did for Felipe Lopez. Same thing they did with Lenny Cook. Same thing they did with all the, Stephon Marbury, all the NBA stars we had, not just NBA stars, other players that we had that just didn't make it, that you'd be like, oh, now I got to go see Sherwin Anderson play. He nasty. Or I got to go see Booker play. You talk about people who's from New York. I'm just talking basketball-wise. Secondly, I think you could be, it's a difficult question, because you could be from New York, but niggas don't really know you from New York. Like Alicia Keys is from Harlem. Mace, have you ever seen Alicia Keys in Harlem? I'm just asking. I haven't. Growing up.
Never in my whole life.
Exactly. Harlem's not that big. So is Alicia Keys like, because she was downtown taking piano lessons or whatever, that doesn't take away her credibility for being Harlem. What's Nas' baby mother name?
Khalees.
She supposed to be from Harlem. I'm not saying she's not. I never seen Khalees. I never heard about Khalees. Have you?
I never seen a lot of people that say they're from Harlem. Here we going with that. I never seen.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, and not just not seen. It's people, because don't get me wrong, Harlem is real territorial, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but you could live on 140th and be like, I ain't fucking with them 141st Street niggas. Like, it's literally
But you know of them.
No, that's what
we never knew of.
No, I'm getting to a point. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
40th to 141st Street is literally a 40-second walk, if that long, but you be like, that's them niggas. But to Mason's point, what I was about to get to is that you heard of people, especially if people were doing stuff. Now, I'm not saying you heard of everybody. Now, maybe these... and I don't want Khalees or Alicia Keys to take this wrong way, because maybe their parents had them doing good things, they had them not in the hood and everything else. So I don't want to take it away from them. But when you somebody from New York, the name rings out. Niggas know about you about one thing or another when you somebody from New York.
They knew me everywhere. They knew you. They knew me everywhere. Ain't no way.
Yeah, I'm talking about even just realistically, like even if me and Mace never got cool, I seen Mace standing on a corner at 8 years old. Literally, not even exaggerated, 8 or 9 years old with like 20 niggas who was way older than him. Like, I'm just being honest.
They knew me in the gambling spot. They knew me in the drug spot.
Because the thing about it is, I lived on 140th Street across from Woolworth, but I had to walk. When at that time, the closest McDonald's was on 132nd Street, so I had to walk to McDonald's with my mom or my uncle or whatever, and I used to walk by like, what's this little kid doing with my age with all these other people out here at this age? So even if I didn't know Mace, because I didn't know him at the time, I used to be wondering, why is this kid out here with like 30 people that's 17 years old? Yeah, because I wasn't allowed to walk to McDonald's at this time by myself. I had to go with somebody.
So some people
to answer your question, there have to be a final answer to your question. I don't think it's true that you have to be a New Yorker, be born a New Yorker.
Yeah.
I'll just be more specific. It's niggas that's from my block that wasn't from my block. They moved to my block, but we claim them.
Yeah.
It's about if niggas claim you. Yeah. It's about if niggas claim you. That's how I feel about it. Now, if niggas be like, man, we ain't fucking with that nigga. Man, come on, nigga. Niggas that claim you, they claim you like you one of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, Mace is not from my block, but my block claimed Mace like he's from my block. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ask niggas from my block, Mace is from my block. They took him in. Like, nah, we fuck with the nigga. He's from my block. So, you know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on that. It's about if niggas claim you, and not only claim you, you've been there long enough to know everybody.
That's a very, very good point. Because as you could see, this went both ways. There was a lot of people agreeing with her, saying like, yeah, like you have to be born in New York. Then a lot of people were like, but Jenny, we haven't seen you from the block. I don't know how that's supposed to go.
That's a good one, because I never heard her. No disrespect to J.O. I love her. I lived in the Bronx. I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I know every girl from the Bronx, but
yeah, that's true, Stat. That's really true. Killer made a great point. They gotta claim you. They claim J-Lo though. They definitely can't claim J-Lo.
But do they? But Mace, not to cut you off. Do they claim? Yo, Mace, hold on. Before you get to your next point, I don't mean to interrupt you. Do they claim her after she got famous? That's the difference.
When she was on The Living Color, did they claim her?
Yeah, or even before that, did they? Because you want to talk about you from my, it wasn't no superstar shit. You was just from my block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't want to act like Mace. I'm not gonna act like Mace be a bunch of blocks on. They claim on 150th Street, 133rd. So So I'm just saying. But that's not M.A. Dollar Sign. You know what I'm saying? They just fuck with Mace. You know what I'm saying? So that's the question. Did they claim you before the fame?
It's a very good point, because everybody's gonna want to claim you after the fame. Point. Just saying.
Because if she's dancing in A Living Color and then they claim her, that ain't from the block.
That shakes. Okay, well, y'all are in agreement. I do want to know what the comments think, because I'm sure they got strong opinions on that as well. Because
that's real. I thought about that, because when I would hear people say, like, I remember, and I'm praying that he get better. I'm praying that Puff get better. But when he would say he was from Harlem, there'll be people like, nah. And I believe he's born there, but that Harlem didn't claim him first. Mount Vernon claimed him first. What you saying, Killer?
No, I'm raising my hand. I can't claim him. I don't know. I don't know the streets. And I don't mean that as disrespect at all. I didn't see it.
I ain't see the tape, so maybe I ain't see the tape. So yeah,
I ain't see it. I was just raising my hand in agreement. I didn't see him. I ain't see him to the parties and all that later on.
I ain't go to the parties and I ain't seen the tapes. So
for instance, this is a great conversation, right? Because that's a great point, right? Like even though me and homie and I love the nigga regardless, even though we not the same page, I seen Dame in Harlem. You see niggas in Harlem. You got niggas who ain't from Harlem who be in Harlem. You think about DNY. I thought they was from Harlem when I first met the way they posted on 25th Street every day. Yeah, because Harlem's not like Brooklyn. It's not like you from Canarsie or they from Bed-Stuy, they from Brownsville or this person from East New York or whatever. Harlem is really 110th to 155th, and then you got Pleasant Avenue to Riverside or Paladino, whichever one you want to claim. It's not that big, so you're going to hear about people who's doing something. So even the Bronx, the Bronx is pretty, but you got to realize Harlem's in Manhattan. We're a neighborhood when you talk about Harlem, it's very, very small. I'm not acting like 3 blocks, but when people say the Bronx, you're talking about the whole borough. People say Brooklyn, you're talking about the whole borough of Brooklyn. People say Queens, talking about the whole borough of Queens. So when you say Harlem, the whole borough of Manhattan, we're talking about a neighborhood in Manhattan. So just wanted to be specific on that.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it here first. In comments, let us know your opinion on the conversation, because we want to know what y'all think too.
Yeah, Stat. Harlem is like no other place. It's like no other place. It's the best talkers in the whole world.
It's a fact.
Okay. On to Russell.
The best talkers in the whole world. It's the best talkers in the whole world, and it's the rudest in the whole world. It's rude, man. It's rude. It's rude and it's bad and it's And it's just to the point where when you get out of it, and don't get me wrong, we love Harlem, still love my niggas, my uncle, all that. But when you think, sometimes I sit back and think about what people say to each other. You got to think about this, right? Think about this, right? How
You would
much
call
cuss
it
we got.
abuse.
Me and Mace.
It would be abuse.
Yeah, it's verbal abuse. Think about this stat. I don't even know if you ever went back and listened to the shit me and Mace used to say on songs about each other. and it's cool.
They like, how can them niggas even be talking to each other right now?
Yeah.
He said what he was supposed to say.
Yeah.
He said this about your
That shit regular, yo.
It's like, bro, that's what he was supposed to say. I was going to say it about his sister.
Yo, Phil, I seen a nigga tell a nigga, I seen a nigga in the gambling spot tell a nigga, yo, listen, stop talking to me crazy. I saw your mother last night. She bought 3 2-for-5s. Leave me alone. And then it was serious. Yo, it wasn't even a joke, really. Like, yo, yo, I saw your mother 3 2-for-5s. Stop talking to me, man. So.
Oh, man.
So now I'm
Yeah,
curious,
for real, stat.
do y'all feel like most of your friendships and relationships were people from Harlem or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them growing up, yeah.
Cam, same for you?
Yeah, listen, let me tell you something. New York, like I say, territorial is very rare. Let's say, for instance, right, we in our neighborhood, and we bring a nigga over from our neighborhood. Niggas in our neighborhood be like, what you doing with them Brooklyn niggas? Like,
yeah.
You bring, like, it be like,
why they
like
over
that.
here?
So, yeah. What they do, like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, a lot of relationships growing up for me is Harlem or the Bronx too. The Bronx, see, to me, the way I look at it, be Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx and Manhattan, talking about structural wise or like how it's laid out. As far as the map is concerned, you can walk to the Bronx from like the Bronx is right there too. So I would say the Bronx and Manhattan and Harlem is closer, Brooklyn and Queens is closer. But a lot of my relationships growing up is definitely Harlem and the Bronx. Now, as an adult, I'm not really, because to me, it's been kind of tough, right? Like, so it's this dude, I was living in Orlando, and I keep seeing this guy at the gas station. He's like, yo, killer, you know, I did 20 years. You know, I'm from Harlem, I'm from your block, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, what's up, man? Good to see you. Then I see him again. Same thing. You know, us Harlem nigga just standing third. Nah, we is. Then the next time I see him, he mutual nigga in jail. He said, yo, I spoke to so-and-so. He would appreciate it if you send him something. I say, yo, my man, look, bro. You can stop with the Harlem shit, bro. All right? I don't know you from Harlem, my nigga. We out here with palm trees and shit. Listen, I don't know why I don't want to talk Harlem shit with you because I don't know you from Harlem. You don't have to keep Harlem and me to death. I don't live there. No disrespect, I go back, but you don't live there. I can you here. Tell me about some Orlando shit. So when they be new Harlem niggas that I don't know, I don't really be wanting to hear all that because I ain't meet you in Harlem. And I ain't know you when I was there. That's what I'm saying.
That's that. There's a threshold there. But I like these conversations because obviously I'm not from New York, so I don't really know how it goes with the boroughs and stuff. So like I'll be listening to y'all about it to see how it is. And I was like, so do y'all stay around each other? Is it like a you over there, we over here? Like, I don't know. So it's cool insight for me. Okay. So got some news on Russell Wilson. So he officially retired and accepted an offer to join CBS Sports as an analyst. Mace.
What you just watched was never really a debate about Jennifer Lopez. It wasn't even about deciding who has truly earned the right to call themselves a New Yorker. What happened inside that studio opened the door to something much deeper. It became a larger conversation about belonging, recognition, and surviving a city that can humble you one minute and expose an outsider the next. The argument over where someone was born versus how long they've lived there only touched the surface of a much bigger issue involving authenticity, community, and those invisible boundaries separating the genuine from the manufactured. When Jennifer Lopez argued that someone needs to be born in one of the 5 boroughs to truly qualify as a New Yorker, she wasn't merely giving her personal opinion. She was tapping into a gatekeeping mentality that has existed almost as long as the city itself. And the panel's reaction, especially from people who weren't born inside New York City, revealed something fascinating about how identity actually works in America's most demanding metropolis. This was never just a conversation about geography. It was about legitimacy, about the difference between simply visiting and truly belonging, and about the gap between living somewhere and being accepted as part of it. The first issue worth examining is whether enough time can eventually become its own qualification. One panelist who moved to New York in 2012 explained that locals told him he would need to spend 10 years there before he could honestly call himself a New Yorker. That standard wasn't completely random. It represented a test that longtime locals understood because they had experienced the city themselves. New York constantly puts you through challenges. It tests your patience on the subway, your toughness during brutal winters, your ability to handle confrontation, and your willingness to defend yourself when necessary. 10 years in New York isn't simply time spent there, it's time survived and earned. The city can wear people down in ways that few other places can, and making it through those experiences becomes part of building your identity inside it. But panelists who actually grew up in New York, despite having a social security number connected entirely to Florida, offered an even stronger counterpoint. He never had to convince anyone that he was from Jacksonville. Nobody questioned where he came from. His identity was accepted because he physically belonged somewhere that never demanded an explanation or a receipt to prove it. The difference between being from Florida and being from New York becomes the difference between stating a fact and defending a claim. New York identity stays contested because the city is so powerful and desirable that countless people want to claim it, while the city itself seems to push back. Its message is basically straightforward. You can't simply arrive here and expect to become the city overnight. And that leads directly into the most powerful idea raised during the conversation, which is the concept of being claimed. The Harlem panelist introduced an idea that goes far beyond official definitions of residency or citizenship. He explained that the real question is whether people claim you. That single word carries far more meaning than a simple label ever could. In New York, especially within Harlem, being claimed means being recognized, remembered, and woven into the community long before fame or success enters the picture. It means people remember seeing you on the block when you were 8 years old. It means your name travels through the neighborhood, not because you eventually became famous, but because you were already there. The difference between being claimed before becoming famous and being claimed afterward is enormous. Anybody can claim J-Lo today. She's a global superstar, a symbol of Puerto Rican achievement, and an aspirational figure for millions of people. But the question hanging over the entire discussion was whether that same community claimed her when she was simply Jenny from the block. Did people know her when she was dancing on In Living Color? Did she actually cross paths with neighborhood residents who could remember her before the fame and celebrity arrived? Based on the experiences described by the panel, the answer seemed to be no, and that missing connection says a lot. Harlem, as the conversation portrayed it, occupies a unique position among New York's 5 boroughs. It isn't sprawling in the same way as Brooklyn or Queens. It's a Manhattan neighborhood stretching roughly from 110th Street to 155th Street, bordered by rivers within a relatively compact area. In theory, that kind of environment means people should know each other. The panel kept returning to that point. Harlem is compact enough that when you're doing something noticeable, word can travel quickly. So when recognition is missing and shared memories simply aren't there, that absence can become evidence that someone wasn't truly part of the neighborhood in the way that matters to locals. This territorial instinct isn't really about lines on a map, it's about human connections. The panel talked about seeing one another around gambling spots, walking toward McDonald's, and passing groups of older teenagers, where even without being close friends, people still knew exactly who everyone was. These neighborhoods create collective memories that can carry across generations. You don't merely live in Harlem, you become part of a recognition network, a web of shared experiences that continues through time. When someone claims Harlem is home, but nobody remembers ever seeing them, it can feel almost like claiming membership in a family where no one recognizes your face. The examples involving Michael Jordan and Carmelo Anthony make that principle even easier to understand. Jordan was born in New York, but left while he was still a child. Carmelo was also born in New York, yet he never played high school basketball there. The panel's argument was that neither should necessarily be viewed as a New Yorker in exactly the same sense as someone who played high school basketball at Rice High School and became known throughout the city. In other words, birthplace alone doesn't settle the argument when the community never saw you, remembered you, or embraced you as an insider. Clearly, this standard goes far beyond the circumstances of someone's birth. It's about lived experience. It's about being shaped by the city's systems, relationships, pressures, and challenges. If the streets never shaped you, if you never attended those same schools, and if you never moved through those same neighborhoods, you may have been born there, but you weren't necessarily formed there. The panelist who argued that someone should spend their school years from ages 4 through 12 in order to genuinely qualify as a New Yorker was essentially making a case for socialization. School represents much more than academics. It represents entering the community and becoming part of its everyday life. It means having classmates who still remember your name, teachers who watched you grow, and rivalries that helped shape the person you became. 4th through 12th grade is where a huge part of identity gets built. That's when your voice, attitude, instincts, and overall way of thinking start taking shape. That's when you begin absorbing the street rules, social codes, and unmistakable rhythm of the city around you. Without those experiences, you can start looking less like a true local and more like someone who simply happened to be born there. There, New York's neighborhood boundaries don't stop at the borough lines either. The panel explained that Harlem itself has had very real divisions from one block to the next. One speaker pointed out that someone could live around 140th Street and rarely, if ever, interact with people from 141st Street. Those two streets are separated by barely one block, something you could walk in around 40 seconds. Yet that invisible boundary can still carry serious weight, showing just how specific New York identity can become. Simply being from Manhattan doesn't automatically settle the argument. You may have to come from a particular part of the neighborhood. Even saying you're from Harlem may not be enough. You have to have a connection to a specific block and the people who know it. That level of precision is exactly what makes New York communities feel so intense, protective, and sometimes extremely inward-focused. The conversation about Diddy's Harlem identity makes this even more interesting. The panel pointed out that although Diddy was born in Harlem, some locals might still respond, "No, that's not quite it." Their argument was that Mount Vernon claimed him before Harlem ever truly did. That raises an uncomfortable possibility. Even if you're born in New York, leaving early and building your life somewhere else can weaken the connection. More specifically, the city may not claim you if you never actually establish your life and reputation there. Diddy's accomplishments obviously cannot be questioned, but according to the panel, the years that shaped him happened somewhere else. His connection to Harlem apparently doesn't carry the same weight because he wasn't there long enough to become known, recognized, and accepted within that community. And now we arrive at the bigger question of what actually creates an authentic identity inside a city as complicated as New York. Can simply being there really settle everything? The panelist defending birthright refused to back down. He argued that being born in New York is the fundamental qualification for being a New Yorker. From his perspective, the physical fact of birthplace carries the final authority. Others challenged that position, arguing that even people born inside the city can fail to earn a genuine connection to it. One panelist who was born in New York but eventually moved away made an interesting observation. He said he still carries that New York sensibility. He still pays taxes there, yet he still wouldn't fully call himself a New Yorker unless New York itself recognized him as one. Eventually, the discussion arrived at a definition that seemed to connect both sides of the argument. If the people around your neighborhood recognize you as one of their own, then you belong there. That definition is powerful because it moves the authority away from the individual and places it with the community. You don't simply get to announce that you're from Harlem because you personally feel connected to it. The people in Harlem have a say in that identity. They make that judgment by remembering you, knowing your story, and placing you somewhere inside their collective memory. The panelist who refused to have a conversation about Harlem with someone he didn't recognize from the neighborhood captured that philosophy perfectly. The stranger's claim meant very little because there was no shared history, personal recognition, or community memory connecting them. The question of whether people claimed J.Lo before her fame or only after she became famous may be the sharpest part of this entire debate. Everybody wants to associate themselves with success. Everybody wants to embrace someone once that person has reached the top. But the panel remained skeptical about that kind of connection. They directly challenged it. Was she considered part of the community when she was simply a local girl? Did people recognize her before In Living Color turned her into a familiar face, before the celebrity status arrived, before she became a global superstar? If the answer is still no, then claiming her only after the fame can look extremely questionable. That's not necessarily genuine community recognition. It's closer to appropriation. It's using someone's success to give the neighborhood credibility instead of acknowledging whether that neighborhood actually helped shape the person. The panelist who remembered seeing Diddy at parties without actually knowing him was highlighting another important piece of Harlem's identity, which is visibility. When you're around long enough, people notice you. Visibility becomes a form of evidence. If nobody can remember or confirm your presence, your place within that neighborhood becomes much harder to defend. That's why the panel's credibility when discussing its own roots carries so much weight. They actually experienced it. People saw them there. People still remember them. Their connection goes far beyond where they were born. It's about an entire life that was lived there, rooted there, visible there, and ultimately accepted there. The contrast between Harlem and the other boroughs is revealing too. The panel explained that when someone says Brooklyn, they're usually talking about the borough as a whole. The same basic idea applies when people mention Queens or the Bronx. But when someone says Harlem, they're naming a neighborhood located inside Manhattan. That distinction matters because recognition becomes much more concentrated. People within Harlem can naturally have stronger connections because the physical area itself is smaller and more tightly connected. So if you're going to claim Harlem, the expectation is that people there should actually know who you are. If nobody recognizes you, that's where the questions begin. The discussion also exposed New York's famously rough approach to friendship and relationships. The panelists described aggressive jokes and sharp insults between friends as another form of bonding. They explained that friends in the city can say things to each other that would sound completely unacceptable somewhere else. Yet within New York, that kind of exchange can be totally normal. The panelist who explained that he and his friend could regularly tear each other apart through songs and still be perfectly cool afterward was describing a kind of relationship outsiders might never fully understand. That roughness is part of New York's identity. It's direct, intense, confrontational, but underneath all of that, it's genuine. In New York, you usually don't have to wonder where you stand because somebody will tell you straight to your face. The panel's comments about bringing outsiders into their neighborhood were just as revealing. If you bring someone from Brooklyn into a Harlem gathering, people are immediately going to wonder why they're there. That territorial instinct is deeply embedded in the culture. It isn't automatically about hostility, it's about boundaries, identity, and understanding who actually belongs in the room. The panelist who explained that most of his childhood friendships came from Harlem or the Bronx was describing a very natural form of community connection. You tend to build relationships with people nearby who experience the same environment and can actually confirm that you were part of it. The example involving the man from Orlando who kept talking to the panelist about Harlem fit perfectly into the larger argument. The panelist basically told him, "You can leave the Harlem talk alone, man. I don't know you from Harlem. We're out here surrounded by palm trees." The larger message was simple. Where you are matters. If you're standing in Orlando, you're physically not in Harlem. Talking about Harlem doesn't magically transport you back there. The Orlando man was trying to establish a connection that the panelist simply didn't recognize. And without recognition or shared history, that claim doesn't carry much weight. That brings us right back to the central lesson running through the entire conversation. New York identity isn't necessarily something you can simply announce for yourself. According to this panel, it's a status that other people ultimately have to acknowledge. You can't just say you belong somewhere and expect everyone else to accept it. The community has to validate that connection. The neighborhood has to remember you. Its collective memories have to include you. The corners where people gathered have to have a memory of you. Even those everyday McDonald's trips become part of the story. Without that shared memory, you're simply someone who was born there or moved there, but never truly became part of the community. The panel's biggest disagreement with Lowe's statement comes down to the difference between being born somewhere and being claimed by that place. Birth is a biological fact. Being claimed is a social process. The panel never questioned that J-Lo was born in the Bronx, but they clearly questioned whether the neighborhood ever truly claimed her. They didn't have evidence that she was known, seen, or recognized by the people they considered insiders. To them, being claimed carried more significance than simply having the right birthplace on paper. And if that's the standard, plenty of people born in New York could still fall short, while someone who moved there later in life could potentially earn that status. Ultimately, the conversation suggests that belonging is never automatically guaranteed. Whether you were born somewhere or arrived there as an adult, you still have to establish your place. You have to be visible. You have to participate. You have to build real relationships. You have to become recognizable. And most importantly, you have to be claimed. A city doesn't simply hand you an identity like some souvenir you take home. It makes you prove that identity through your experiences and connections. And once you've actually earned it, the city can give you something that no birth certificate could ever provide, a genuine feeling of being part of something larger than yourself, a community that knows your name, recognizes your face, remembers your story, and accepts you as one of its own. That's the deeper meaning behind being a New Yorker, and honestly, that's what belonging means almost anywhere. That's why this argument feels much bigger than one celebrity or one borough. It exposes a harsh reality about urban identity. Fame can't manufacture a history, and a birth certificate can't manufacture a community. What matters, according to this panel, is the accumulated evidence of actually living among people who recognize your face, remember seeing you, and know where you come from. In that sense, belonging isn't something you suddenly announce after becoming famous. It's something other people have already been confirming long before anyone outside the neighborhood ever starts paying attention.